We knew that Akutegawa was back from the end of the chapter 117, and it was only a matter of time before he comes to save Atsushi. However, what we were not prepared for was the fact that he would forget who Atsushi is, meaning that he would lose his memory. I was a bit happy after reading this month's chapter because nobody died in this one, and I felt somewhat mentally stable. Plus, we're finally taking the plot of the book seriously. The theory about Fyodor saving Atsushi because he is important for reaching the book seems to be true. And now we know that Atsushi is actually a bookmark for the book. And bookmarks are mostly used to mark a place or a specific part in the book. Could this mean that Atsushi's ability, his tiger, is a way to access to different parts of the book, or to easily travel from one place to another within the book? Maybe different world? Or could it allow him to go back and forth within a single timeline? It could also mean that since he is the part of the book, it gives him the power to locate it accurately, making him an important person for Fyodor. Atsushi, who had no idea about this book theory or Fyodor's plan, looked so shocked and confused when Fyodor said that he'd save him. Then Fyodor proceeded to low drop him in the most princess-like way. He told Atsushi that he's the bookmark for the book, which is why the guild and the others were after him. He calls the tiger special and says, "You are an innocent beast. You are fundamental to this world, beloved as its emotional heart." I have no idea what this means, but to put it simply, he claims that the book is the origin and Atsushi is the bookmark in the fancy language. Atsushi obviously doesn't believe a single thing he says, which is reasonable. I know it's true to some extent, but Fyodor has given me some trust issues too, especially after his killing rampage. Anyways, in response to Atsushi's denial, he did what he does best, manipulation. He straight up told Atsushi that it was his fault that Kunikira, Tanizaki, and Kenji had died, because apparently, as a bookmark, his claws are quite characteristic. They could tear through abilities and could even fight against Amnogazin, even with his dimensional detachment, meaning that he could have saved his friend and fought the helicopter, but he didn't, and now they're all gone. He then goes on about how Amnogazin, the divine being, was born from the tripolar singularity, that they are the idea of the highest order suppressing human intellect. He adds that the divine being was brought about as a physical manifestation of the space-time sword, Amnogazin. While there are 3 dimensions, length, width, and depth, by adding time, another dimension, its body now exists in Minkowski space, a unique 4th dimension. Atsushi's response to that information was, "No, but same, I didn't get much apart from the fact that Amnogazin is basically a shadow and that it's not actually real and only exists in the 4th dimension named Minkowski. So if the dimensions are going to be canon, it's only natural that multi-universe exists too, right? That means that everyone who have died so far can come back even without the book, right? Because Fyodor have no desire to give any part of the book to Atsushi. And we haven't seen Dazai or Rampo in the past chapters. Still, manipulating and guilt trap were one thing, but now Fyodor is pulling pranks? Too bad Nikolai isn't here to laugh at his newly found humor. Also, this chapter made me think a lot about Fyodor. Like, who is he and where he come from? It is a fact that he's very smart, and he's pretty proud of outwitting Dazai and getting what he wants. But his home? Where is his home? And why does he need to travel there? We need a separate chapter explaining his backstory. And so in this chapter, he asks Atsushi to join him in his shenanigans, saying that even Dazai was not fit to be his other half. In that case, his remaining option for companionship would only be him/Atsushi. Maybe we were right about the fact that Dazai could also reach the book, but he's also as smart as Fyodor himself, and would have high chances of tricking him than Atsushi. So that's why now he's choosing Atsushi as his friend.
You're my friend now. We're having soft tacos later.
In return, he said that he'd give Atsushi the backside of the page, and he could return the armed detective agency to its original state. It was a one-time offer, and he gave Atsushi 5 minutes to think about it. But our boy agrees to it in seconds without giving it a second thought. Fyodor was so close to giving the praise to Atsushi and winning my poor heart, but suddenly he remembers that he was the villain, and stabbed Atsushi in the back. Well, it was the Amnogazin that stabbed him, but still, the betrayal. He then proceeded to make fun of how gullible Atsushi was, saying, "How could he not see this coming? Your beauty lies solely with the bookmark. I have no interest in you." This led to Atsushi having a whole mental breakdown. He begged Fyodor to save everyone in return for his life. And for some reason, Fyodor seemed to really dislike that idea. I don't know, but Fyodor has been through so many emotions in this chapter. I mean, I've never seen this man so angry, like kicking an 18-year-old boy while he's already barely existing. How did he go from this to this? I'm thinking it might be because he thinks of the tiger as someone high and mighty. This could be true if he knew the person who had this ability before Atsushi, but that would mean that abilities are transferred from one to another. Or he just hates human and their human-like characteristics. Other than these two, no other reason comes to my mind for him to be this angry. He even changed his mind about saving Atsushi, saying that his head would be enough to be the bookmark and his companion. Now, why does he need a specific part of his body? From the neck up? We don't know that. Maybe it's because he actually need his ability slash tiger, who would still be there if Atsushi is barely alive and just surviving. He commands Amnagazin to take Atsushi's head off, but luckily for us and Atsushi, Okutegawa comes in to his rescue, cutting off the hand that was holding Atsushi's neck. He looks so cool with his armor and upgraded vocabulary. It's him, but it's not actually him, since he's going on about protecting the princess and the commoners. Soon Fyodor also understands that it's a parting gift from Brahm, so it's clear that he's under influence by the Vampire King or something, and not completely himself. Maybe he has lost all his memories, or maybe he just lost few of them. Because as he goes to strike the creature, Atsushi panics and asks him to back away. And he replies to him with the, "Who the hell are you?" Then he begins to fight off the creature that nobody else seemed to stand a chance against. Because he could also manipulate space like him, and not only that, he still has some of the vampire's ability. Seeing him, Atsushi forget about how he nearly got off with his head and proceed to smile, with full belief that Okutegawa could win against this divine creature. It's confusing to understand why or how Okutegawa loses his memories, but I'm thinking that it's a temporary loss. Because we do see him in season 5 in episode 11 wearing the same armor and everything.
You mean just the two of us? Do we need anyone else's help?
Other than that, I don't know if Asagiri is cooking something completely different. Tell me your thoughts on the chapter. That was all for today. Thank you for listening to me. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
No, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.